Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal. On this channel I usually talk about book stuff. I talk about some stitchy stuff sometimes. But today is the Fiberartsy reads. We're going to go over some book chat today. And I'm going to go do the mid-year book freak out tag. Yay! This is a tag I love to see other people do every year. And so I'm going to do it myself. So let's get into it. There are, 15 questions. So let's go. Number one, the best book so far in 2021. I mean, that's a loaded question, am I right? But this year actually was pretty easy. Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. I don't think that's a surprise. Nothing. I mean, I've had a really freaking good reading year, honestly. I have loved almost everything that I've read this year to some degree, but this is still top of the tops for me. Such beautiful writing that I can't get over it. I can't get over it. I'm still thinking about it. So, and I want to reread it like yesterday. So Betty by Tiffany McDaniel, for sure. Now I did come up with another a non-fiction book that I wanted to mention because this is also a book that I still think about and I really wish everyone would read, and that's Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This was the very first book I read in 2021, and it is still on the tops of my favorites of the year so far. So go read it. It's so good. Number two, the best sequel so far. Well, I have two because it's The 12 and City of Mirrors by Justin Cronin. It's books 2 and 3 of the Passage trilogy. And I loved both of those books, and that finishes out that series. They were so good. Love it. Number three, a new release that I haven't read yet, but I still want to. And I've got a couple for that one. Well, I really want to get to The Push by Ashley Audrain. Got to it yet. I really want to get to Whisper Down the Lane by Clay McLeod Chapman. Ain't got to it yet. And I really want to get to The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. Ain't got to it yet. So we'll see if I get to them by the end of the year. Number four, your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I'm looking forward to My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I am also looking forward to Sorrowland by River Solomon. I don't think it's out yet because I loved An Unkindness to Ghost so much, but I want to read everything by River Solomon, and this one I think has a horror tinge to it, so really want to read that. Number five, your biggest disappointment. And like I said, I've had a pretty darn good reading year, so to say there was a couple books I just didn't like, but I wasn't necessarily going into them thinking I would like them. Sometimes they're like book club picks and stuff, but I mean, I guess, so what I put was When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, and like I said, I still liked the book, but I guess I was a little disappointed that I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to, so I guess in that way it's a disappointment, but it's still a decent thriller with some commentary about race and gentrification. I did really like it, but I didn't, I guess, love it, so maybe in that way it's a disappointment, but it's not that it's a terrible book. So yeah, whatever. Biggest surprise, I put two down here because I was really surprised by how much I loved Census by Jessie Ball. I've talked a lot about that book on here, so I won't chat much more about it. But yeah, I really loved that book so much. And I was also pretty surprised by how much I loved Native Son by Richard Wright. Now this is a modern classic, so I know it's good, I know it's important, but I was very surprised by the what's the word I'm looking for? By some of the things that happened in this book. Because we have a young man who is accused of killing a woman, and some of that around that is really brutal in here. There's like masturbation in public mentioned in here, and I just think for the time period, I thought like this book was probably like controversial, right? And so I was kind of surprised I saw all that stuff in here, because this was released in 1940. So I don't know, maybe I'm just a fuddy-duddy, but I thought back then that I bet this was a really controversial book. This book is really good, though, if you haven't gotten to this one yet. But it's depressing. So just know that going into it. But it's really so good. Oh man, so good. Okay, number 7. A favorite new author, either as a debut or someone that's new to you. And I'm going to bring up my girl Tiffany McDaniel again, because I will read anything she puts out from here forward. I'm just in love with it. So, and I also was very impressed by Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. So she is also a newer author to me that is on my radar. Very impressed by that. All right, newest fictional crush. I put Mason from Zinni by Rebecca Weatherspoon. I just thought he was just so sweet. And yeah, if I have to make a crush, then it'll probably be him. Some new most favorite new characters. I loved Landon, again, from Betty. And I loved Betty herself. She was pretty awesome. I loved my man Whiskey Jack that we met in Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson. He's just a nice guy with a big heart. And I loved Maverick that we meet in The Hate You Give and Concrete Rose. Ugh. Very nice characters. Alright, a book that made you cry. Let's just pull it up again. I bawled reading this book. There are just such sad scenes in this book, and I cried throughout most of it. I also cried while reading Pachinko by Minjin Lee, another awesome family saga. And I also cried while reading Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue. Man, I've read some tearjerkers this year. A book that made you happy. Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. I loved this book. I mean, there's some, more sadder or, not happy things in the book, but overall, I loved it. And also The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. Oh, that book made me so happy. Oh, it's so good. All right, the most beautiful book I bought this year. All right, I pulled out a few, because I can't just answer one thing for one question. This one I really loved, and it's actually a book I really need to still get to, is The Removed by Brandon Hobson. I don't know, I love the graphicness of this one. Yeah, and the color scheme. I loved the cover for this one, Burnt Tongues anthology. I just love that cover. And this is not a new book, but it's a new one that I bought this year. Of course, it's The Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro and Cornelia Funk. What a beautiful, beautiful cover. Beautiful book in general. It's got... Oh, need to read that. Okay. Let's see. What book do I still need to read by the end of the year? I mean, all of them. Yeah, I had made a list of 21 books to read in 2021, and I have 11 still left on that list, so not doing the best. We'll see how the rest of the year goes. Favorite video that I've done this year? I'm still pretty new to making the book chat videos, so I don't know if I think it's been my favorite yet, but very recently I did take part in a live show where we discussed, you got it, Betty by Tiffany McDaniel over on Kelly Hooked on Books channel, and I just had a really fun time doing that. It was my very first live show, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really great conversation, and yeah, you can check it out below. I'll try to make it. It was fun. Question number 15, the last one. Fave book community members. So I've got a lot of people that I like, of course. So I'm gonna name as many as I can. in 1 minute. No. Brad Proctor, of course, I've connected with a bit more since making videos and getting in his Discord. And through that, I've met like Jay Maddox, Kelly Hooked on Books. There's Nikki Dark Between Pages. I love Elizabeth Sagewood. Of course, Rachel over at the Shades of Orange, and Jason over at Jason's Weird Reads. We're doing that Melazam read along together, and I'm really enjoying that. He just is good, makes good videos anyway. Who else? Pink Paradox Reads, Lama Galisa. Who else? Everybody's fabulous, right? There's so many good people here, and I thank you all for the warm welcome. Leslie the Nerdy Narrative. I've met through Brad's stuff. So yeah. All right. If I forgot anybody, of course, it's not on purpose. But that'll do it for me. That's a fun tag. Let me know if you do that tag below, or tag you're it if you'd like to do it, because it's fun. I'll try to put the questions and stuff below and links and all that good stuff. Thanks as always for watching, you guys. I so appreciate your time, and that'll do it for me. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.